Okay, so we've heated up some engine oil and put it in the barrel, and we've heard some interesting cracking sort of sounds. So God knows what the hell's going on in there. So far I can see the oil level's dropping. I didn't really take note of how much I put in, but the oil's starting to cool down now. There's not that much in there, only to about the tip of that screwdriver tip, so we shall check that later to see if it's gone down at all. But pretty sure she's not gonna go anywhere. Still no movement. Still no movement at the moment. Probably gotta try and break the rust ring before this will take any sort of effect, I guess. It's worth a try. We'll see where we go. Okay, I've taken the sump off of my Coborn C3. The piston is still stuck. Boiling oil didn't seem to do the trick at the moment, but I want to take the connecting rod off the crankshaft so we don't do any damage to the connecting rod, and there's no strain on the little end or anything. But in doing this I found something quite interesting that I think Make Do and Mend One would be interested in knowing, if he doesn't take the sump off of his engine, because his is now free. But I would advise taking your sump off. You can see there, that is the dipstick. That's, no, not the dipstick, the oil slinner, and that's it. That's not broken off or anything, I don't think. That is how it looks, and obviously that's not deep enough to get any lubrication from the sump, because the sump comes to about there. So what it actually has then, so here's the sump, and you've got to make sure this is working. Mine is an oil pump, so this is sealed around there, so nothing can escape there, so it fills this up with oil. You see I've got it full of oil now, and that's how it lubricates. Then the little dipper comes there, so you've got to make sure this oil pump is working. That's quite an elaborate system, slightly different to the Briggs Stratton ZZ oil pump, but a similar sort of arrangement. So yeah, you got to make sure that's working. Advise anybody with a Coborn C3 to open their crankcase door and make sure that oil pump's working, otherwise you're not going to get any lubrication at all. But inside looks very nice and clean. Make Do and Mend One was saying that his little lifters are stuck. Mine are actually 3. They both work, so that's okay. Looks like they have ball bearings on the crank by the looks of it. Maybe, perhaps, can't sort of see at the moment, but it does look like they do. But yeah, I'm going to try and get my connected rod loose now. Okay, I couldn't get the connected rod off. That's another thing for you, Make Do and Mend One. The size of the bolts are, God knows. I don't know. I've tried an old socket set, I've tried the new socket set. Nothing really fits right. So what size they are, I don't know. They also have little split pins to stop the nuts coming loose, so you got to get them out first. So I got one of those out, but still couldn't shift the connecting rod bolts. But it doesn't matter now, because I've just used my block of wood. I cut this morning, perfect size for the cylinder, and this little lightweight mallet, and we now have a rust ring, so she's broken free. Now I can fill her with diesel, and that should soak in. So that's progress. I finally got it to move a little tiny bit, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to fill her with diesel now, leave her sitting outside for the rest of the day, and pack up all these tools, and we could do a little bit of work to the sump. Pretty sure I managed to save my sump gasket. That doesn't often happen, but just make sure this little oil pump's working. That's quite interesting. That it'd be good to see all of that gubbins when the thing is out. But yeah, that's interesting. That wasn't expecting to find a little oil pump in there. Quite an advanced little engine. This in the Briggs & Stratton ZZ is quite advanced, but this has still got this wind, rain, bloody governor set up. The ZZ has an internal weight governor. But oh well, let's get some diesel in this now and see what happens. Okay, well, we've taken the diesel out of the bore again and put some Pepsi in, sort of similar to Coca-Cola, which freed the suffolk off, and it seems to be doing something. You could hear it sort of going down the side of the bore. Just going to come out later and see if any is dribbled on the floor. But we also gave it a few more taps after we took the diesel out, and got a picture of the rust ring, and yeah, I think it's moved a little bit more, but we are very close to the end of the stroke now, so there's not much more until we can't really move it. But yeah, we're going to leave that in there now and head in and maybe edit a video of it and see what's happening. But we've got bubbles and all sorts of things, so I don't know, maybe it's going to do something, maybe it won't, we'll see.